Welcome to East-West Supplier Focus Training Presentation. My name is Liz Maida. I am the Process Improvement Manager here at East-West Industries, and I will be moderating today's presentation. This presentation will focus on key procurement and quality elements that are important to East-West. It is our goal that presenting this information will help improve and strengthen our business relationship. Our topic today is what we call our Supplier Focus Program. First, let me begin with a bit of history. East-West began in 1968 as a family-owned small business designing and developing oxygen components for fixed-wing aircraft. Over the years, our product line has expanded to utilize an array of technologies to include escape, life support, seating, and ground support equipment. Today, we are globally recognized as a leader known for expertise as a solution provider with over 28 patents providing products that save aircrew lives. Our successful business relationships with major aerospace and defense contractors include Lockheed Martin, Sikorsky Aircraft, Northrop Grumman, Bell Helicopter, and the Boeing Company. East-West received Supplier of the Year from Boeing. We were one of just 13 companies honored for this distinguished award. So now, after an amazing 53 years, we look forward with great enthusiasm to the next 50 years with our guiding tenet that saving aircrew lives is our first concern. Let me take this opportunity to tell you about our business focus so that you know what is important to us. East-West business focus is to provide innovative solutions at the right cost and to deliver quality products on time, on budget, at no risk to the program. Our goal is to continually achieve customer satisfaction, to grow our customer base to support the warfighter. This training session aims to improve communication with our valued suppliers by identifying important requirements that our suppliers must meet to do business with us. Our objectives are to point out key elements specific to our drawings and order placement, to improve quality, on-time delivery, and cost that support our customers, thereby strengthening our business relationship. We know that our suppliers play a tremendous role in our success. We consider you partners, and therefore we are committed to strengthen our business relationship to achieve long-term business success. But this is not a short-term initiative. The point is, more business for us means more business for you. So now I would like to introduce our key speakers. Anthony Landisi is East-West Strategic Sourcing Manager with over 37 years in aerospace and manufacturing. He is a seasoned leader and expert in procurement and has been managing East-West planning and procurement staff since 2016. Steve Kreuter is our Quality Assurance Manager. Steve has an engineering background with over 24 years of industry experience, 11 of which has been in quality management and has been with the company since 2018. Of course, I'm Liz Maida, the Process Improvement Manager and moderator of this presentation. I have been with East-West since 2015, and I have over 36 years in the industry with a focus on business management and procurement. At this point, I'd like to turn over the presentation to Anthony, who will walk you through the requirements of being a supplier to East-West.
Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Landisi. To become an authorized supplier, your company must be approved through our Supplier Approval process. This is a two-phase process. First, the Supplier Quality Survey Review, which is a mandatory requirement for supplier certification. We select suppliers who are capable of supplying products that meet performance, quality, price, and delivery requirements. We will review your company's background regarding the type of products and services you provide and your ability to conform to QMS requirements. Risk mitigation efforts such as reviewing your quarterly data from objective and reliable sources, on-site facility audits, and capability studies is typical. The use of this data is an important component of East-West supplier control process in order to verify that your company can be added to our approved supplier list. The second stage of approval relates to our shared role in protecting sensitive information. Before we get into documentation you must provide, here is an intro into requirements. Defense suppliers are at greater risk of hacking than ever before. Regardless of the size of your company, you are at risk. It is imperative that our suppliers understand what is at stake and recognizes our shared role in protecting sensitive information and intellectual property. A single breach can have grave consequences for our customers and our business. As a supplier of East-West, you must be CMMC compliant to do business with us. That means you are required to comply with FAR 52.204-21-0 and DFARS 252.204-7012. So that East-West can evaluate your readiness for cybersecurity certification into the Department of Defense, we require that you complete the Vendor Supplier Cybersecurity Survey for CMMC. Unless you are a COTS-only supplier, all other suppliers providing product to East-West are required to be a minimum level 1 CMMC status. There are 17 requirements to the level 1 status. We cannot waive this requirement. Now let's take a look at our website that can provide you additional resources. The East-West website provides resources to help you fulfill order requirements. Please note that these are the official reference documents. You need to flow these down to your sub-tier suppliers. Purchase order terms and conditions are found here. These supersede all other T's and C's, including sellers' T's and C's. Quality assurance requirements are found here. Purchase orders are subject to these supplier quality clauses. Please reference to them at time of order acceptance, as these documents may change. MOI, manufacturing operation instructions, are found here. The purpose of this manufacturing operation instruction is to provide workmanship standards and mechanical manufacturing requirements which may not be included in an engineering drawing or specification. Please refer to this document at the time of order acceptance. Process codes are located right on the lower right bottom of the drawing. Reference the specifications by clicking on this link on the website. All processes such as heat treat, welding, etc. shall be certified using East-West approved or NADCAP suppliers only. Finish codes are noted on the drawing in the lower right corner. Reference the specifications by clicking on this link on the website. All special processing that is performed by the sellers shall be performed by either an East-West approved special processing source or a NADCAP approved source. The Supplier Resource tab has a link to all approved processes and finishing suppliers approved by East-West. Suppliers are responsible to communicate with East-West anytime there is a proposed change to the product or process being supplied. Please reference this document at time of order acceptance, as this document may change and East-West does not provide separate notifications of such change. East-West has developed a comprehensive guide for completion of first article inspection reports. The FAI is required on products being made for the first time or if a drawing is revised. These instructions can be found from the link on our website. If the part requires a process or finish, its code is noted in this area of the drawing. Certifications must show current NADCAP approval along with part numbers and revisions, specifications and revisions, quantities, and support test data. Certifications must accompany the delivered product. Subcontractors using sources not appearing on the approved supplier list are required to show proof that the processing vendors used are NADCAP approved and current. DPAS, the Defense Priority and Allocation System, rates orders that must take precedence over all other rated orders and be flowed down through the sub-tier supply chain. As a supplier to East West, you must give priority treatment as identified by the priority rating in the purchase order. All rated orders must be scheduled to the extent possible to ensure delivery by the required delivery date. Terms and conditions and quality assurance requirements are called out in this area of the purchase order. Please refer to the specific T&Cs and quality clauses from the link on the East West website. Ensure that the PO revision level matches the drawing. If the revision level appearing on the PO does not match the revision level in the title box of the drawing, please contact the buyer immediately. Delivery is an important part of your quarterly performance rating. You are rated based on your performance of delivering complete quantity to the original delivery date. If you miss this delivery date and informed us of your next best delivery date, you are still graded on the original delivery date. All orders must be manufactured in accordance with the engineering drawing provided and East-West Workmanship Standard MOI 1000 unless otherwise specified. Order-specific instructions are noted in this field. Orders for outside service are submitted on an MFV purchase order. Specific instructions not stated on the drawing are found in this area of the order. Please contact the buyer with any questions you may have. We expect our suppliers to acknowledge receipt and acceptance of the purchase order by emailing the buyer or by signing and returning the PO within 10 business days. It is important that East West knows if a component you sell is obsolete or is being redesigned. Therefore, should the component become obsolete or redesigned, you must notify East West in writing immediately, but no less than the standard lead time required before the end of production. You will receive a questionnaire on an annual basis regarding the parts you provide. Please cooperate by replying and returning the survey back to us within 7 days. That completes the first half of the presentation. We will now move on to the second part of the presentation. Okay, Steve, would you like to begin?
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. My name is Steve Kreuter. I'm the quality manager here at East West Industries. I'm just going to go over a few things that we need our vendors to know about our quality clauses and some other quality items. First thing I want to talk about is quality clauses. Each PO has a reference to a SCOR manual, which is our Supplier Quality Assurance Requirements. These clauses are order specific. You'll see two sections in our SCOR manual. There's a first section which is applicable to all orders, and the order specific clauses, which are called out on the PO as you see in the red box here, that are called out in the second section. Some highlighted quality clauses that I'd like to point out. Q1 is for government source inspection. If this is invoked on the PO, this requires a sign-off from your DCMA representative QAR before shipping the parts from your facility. Q5B is our first article inspection requirement. This will be invoked on any order where a first article inspection is required. Any changes to the parts or processing, as defined in AS 9102, will require a Delta FAI. Regardless if this clause is called out on the PO, if you have received a PO in the past where this was called out, you will need to provide a Delta FAI. Q7 is for serialization and test data. This will be invoked if the parts have a serialization requirement or if test data is required to be shipped with the parts. Maintenance of all inspection data regardless of this clause is for a minimum of 10 years. This is applicable to all parts as is called out in section 3.14 of the SCOR manual. Customer furnished property is Q12. If we provide you tooling or parts or material for the production of our parts, we ask that you take care of it. And finally, Q13 is calling out critical characteristics. As you all know, these parts are used in a very safety critical application. If a critical characteristic is defined on these parts, we ask that you do 100% inspection on these characteristics. First article requirements will also be called out on the line item level with this note, in addition to the Q5B quality clause being called out in the quality clauses box. I'd like to now talk about some important drawing elements that you should be aware of. In our title block, in addition to important items such as part name, part number, and revision, you'll see some other elements that you should know. First of all, our tolerance block is located in the title block. Tolerances are given in general terms for the entire drawing. While specific tolerances may be called out in the field of the drawing, general tolerances, if not given specifically in the field of drawing, are in the title block. Also, any critical characteristics are called out in the title block. So if you look to the bottom left of the title block, you will see critical characteristics. Any C with a number after it will indicate how many critical characteristics are on the drawing. In addition to these items, directly above the title block, you will see process and finish codes, which we have previously talked about. The next thing I would like to highlight is workmanship standards and special notes. On each drawing, you will see our reference to a MOI 1000, which we have talked about previously in this presentation. This is East-West standard workmanship standards and goes over things such as thread formation, burrs, and other elements which may or may not be acceptable. In addition to this, we also call out special notes which are applicable to the drawing. Some of these notes can be finish, material, burrs, or any other items that make the drawing more readily understood. The next important item is the revision level. Every drawing carries a revision level. The revision level of the drawing you are working to should match the revision level of the PO. If the revision level on the PO does not match the drawing you have, please contact your buyer and we will provide you with the correct revision level. East-West uses a process called Deviation and Waiver Request, which we abbreviate DWE. East-West suppliers are responsible to communicate to us any deviations or waivers from standard engineering. If you cannot meet the stated requirements, then we ask that you contact your buyer to initiate a DWE. This DWE can be a change in material, or a change in processing, or any other contractual requirements. This deviation will be flowed through East-West and we will review it with our engineering and quality teams to make sure that it is applicable and will meet the intent of the drawing and will be acceptable for use in our products. It is important that the DWE is entered prior to shipping product to East-West. Failing to do so will result in an NCR and may impact your supplier rating. Any DWE that's considered a producibility enhancement will require you to submit a business case, so we can have justification for the enhancement of the quality, cost, and our schedule. Again, we require all DWEs to be approved prior to you shipping parts in to us. Early notification is very much appreciated as it will minimize the potential unanticipated costs to both parties. Again, if you have any ideas on how to reduce cost or improve throughput, please let us know. We'd love to hear them. Now on to the next subject, which is FOD. We require that you deliver parts to us without any foreign object contamination or damage. This is very important not only for our products, but for the end products that our customers will be seeing. As you know, FOD is a major problem in our industry, so we ask that you do your part to make sure that no FOD is being introduced into our products and our end products. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about non-conformances. Non-conformances are defined as any part or material that does not meet our specified requirements. We use a process called the NCR or Non-Conforming Material Report to document all of these non-conformances. Any NCRs that are found at East West will be segregated and quarantined pending our review by our MRB board. Any NCRs which are found to be the responsibility of you will require remediation at your expense. This can include a return to vendor disposition for rework or scrap. Or, if time is critical, we may choose to rework the parts in-house. This will still be your cost, and we will debit you for any costs incurred. Any NCRs that are found to be your responsibility will affect your supplier quality rating. NCRs that are determined to be as is still will negatively impact your rating. Any NCRs dispositioned as no fault found will not impact your score. If you are aware for certain that parts are not conforming, do not send them in. Instead, contact your buyer who will initiate a DWI. A DWI will not impact your quality rating. Non-conformances may require corrective action. In the case that we determine a corrective action is necessary for a non-conformance or for underperforming vendors, we will issue a Supplier Corrective Action Request, or a SCAR. SCARs, when they are issued, are automatically emailed to the vendor. If a SCAR is related to an NCR, a copy of the NCR will also be attached to the same email. We send a SCAR courtesy form, also attached to the email, but if you have your own form and would like to use that, we can accept it. However, at a minimum, all SCAR responses must include the root cause of the deficiency, any action taken to correct the specific deficiency, any action taken to prevent recurrence of the deficiency, any action taken to determine if other products are affected, the effectivity date for the implementation of identified corrective and preventive actions, and verification that the corrective and preventive actions were effective. You've heard me talk about your supplier rating a bit. Our expectation is that all of our suppliers will deliver parts on time and on quality. Your performance in these categories over the past 12 months is calculated into a composite score which determines which tier you fall into. We give preference in contracting new work to those suppliers who have demonstrated continued excellence. If you are a gold or silver supplier, we thank you, and please keep up the good work. We appreciate the efforts that you and your teams have put into making your products and ours the best they can be. We calculate your composite score using a formula which factors in on quality and on-time delivery. These two elements make up the bulk of your score. There is also a 10% responsiveness score that is subjectively applied by our quality and supply chain teams to judge how easy your company is to work with and how well you respond when there is a problem. As I mentioned, the scores are calculated based on a previous 12 months' deliveries. We use this to determine which suppliers are consistently delivering conforming products on time. By using an annual average, your score won't be impacted as severely should you have a slight hiccup. If you are an underperforming supplier, we will ask that you take steps to correct your deficiencies. Please contact your buyer if you are uncertain as to why you have been rated as underperforming. Remember, the worst thing you can do is nothing. If your level of performance does not improve, we may initiate a formal corrective action request or take additional action up to and including suspension from our approved vendor list. We don't ever want it to come to that, and we are willing and able to help you overcome your challenges. After all, if you do better, we all do better. In closing, I want to reiterate that East West values our relationships with our suppliers. You are the lifeblood of our organization, and without you, we cannot succeed. We want to do whatever we can to ensure continued growth of both your organization and ours. If you have any questions or comments about anything you've heard here, please don't hesitate to reach out to Anthony or myself. For now, I would like to hand it back to Liz for some closing remarks.
This concludes East West's Supplier Focus presentation. East West welcomes your ideas to ensure our continued success. So please reach out to us at the email and phone number listed. We would love to hear from you. Thank you again.